Minutes or less, you're going to be timed. Justice back there has a light. And so, what did God show you while you were in Port Elizabeth?
Yeah, bro. I'm Jason, and I'm 41. And on the way out, first of all, I want to thank God for taking, just giving me the opportunity to go to Africa. My wife, that stood by me to go. In Africa, well, I started in London. We went to London, and God moved. I witnessed to this young guy in the tube, and while I witnessed to this young man, this lady nearby was hearing what I was saying, and she started weeping. And I know God was dealing with people there, because when I was witnessing, people were like turning around, like, "Oh, he's talking about Jesus." And God was moving, and we left and went to Africa. And the whole trip, I just had a coughing fit, and I was just sick. And it started Monday and Tuesday. My wife got sick, I got sick, and it's like just a life from the pit of hell, where I couldn't go street preaching. I couldn't even testify because my voice hurted so much. But I was able to share the gospel with others. I prayed with some people. I said, Never mind my voice. So they were listening to me. People were open. And for me to go to Africa was to be a blessing and to be a servant. And just to go and be over there, just to be a blessing. You know, my responsibility was to go drive the van and to get the people there to and fro. I wasn't the best driver, so I didn't kill nobody. So and so I just thank God I had this opportunity to go and to see the other part of the world, just to experience it, like just to see the people there, on fire, and to be there. It was an awesome time, and just to be there was really great, to be a servant and a blessing.
Man.
My name is Angela Energy, and this is my first time overseas, other than to Mexico. I've never really been anywhere outside of the country for church purposes. But what amazed me the most was that regardless of whether you're in Mexico or anywhere in America, being in South Africa, you were still home. And the Port Elizabeth Church was like home. There you had the same spirit, and the Andersons have literally just have poured their life out for these people. And
Amen.
Just to see in the short time that we're there, over 250 people saved. And me, myself, I've been saved 22 years, and I've never been on an outreach where I've been able to pray for 8 people at an outreach, witness to people. And one time specifically, this lady wanted to pray with me, and her boyfriend came and was literally pulling her away. And I'm grabbing her, and he's taking my hand off, and I'm grabbing her she's gonna pray. And then Diana Ibada comes and steps in, and it was just a picture of what was happening in the spiritual realm. That she wanted to pray, but then the boyfriend was no, and so me and Diana were oh, she's gonna pray. And she prayed, and we got her information, so we're really thankful for that. But just things like that were happening, people truly responsive to the gospel. That I got called a malungo by these little kids, because I guess they never seen, the township, and I'm I'm not white, I'm Mexican. But anyway, so that was really funny. But it was just an amazing experience, and I want to thank everyone that prayed for us, everyone that pledged, everyone that bought tacos, everyone that somehow supported us to go, because it was an amazing, life-changing experience.
Amen.
Praise God. My name is Chris Adeniji, and most of you know that I am from Africa, so this is not a strange thing to me. Yeah, that's what I said. I've been on an invasion team to Africa, South Africa before, but this time it was really different. And I think what was different for me is that watching the gospel that we preach day in and day out works. No matter what part of the country you're in, no matter what part of the planet you're in, just like my wife was saying, just going out on the streets, preaching to people. And what blew my mind is just the openness to the gospel, where you're standing there, that honesty, when you ask somebody, you go to church? They'll tell you they go to church, but are you saved? Are you living for God? And they'll look at you and say, no. So that kind of opens the door up to be able to witness and really share Christ, where you can bring Jesus to people face to face and really, talk to them where they're at. It really challenges you as a person, as a Christian, to help you know that, what we do as Christians, the gospel that we preach does work. So no matter where you're at in part of the world, if you will give yourself to the good gospel and you really share your heart, your salvation, what God is doing in your life, and no matter how small, how great, God can still use it. Even here in Austin, just like He did in South Africa, watching people, really open to the gospel, the way they did was a mind-blowing thing for me. And I thank God for the privilege and the opportunity to go. And thank God for everyone that sacrificed, that pledge, and allowed us to be able to go. God bless you.
Amen.
My name is Richard Gutierrez. I'm 57 years old. And one thing that God has showed me, after seeing people get healed in the streets, people get saved, it was powerful. But what God showed me was that I'm not too old to go out and see people get saved.
Come on.
And people get healed. And that 250 people got saved and healed and over there in 4 days' time, it can happen here. Amen. If we bring the same zeal and the same desire to see people delivered and healed, we can see that here, and there'll be not enough room for people in this building.
Come on.
That's what God showed me.
Amen.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joanne Fuentes. I'm 43 years old. I'm going to try not to cry, but I know I am. It was an amazing trip. An amazing trip. I can't even have the words to say what I felt. And for God to use my life in such a positive way, I would have never imagined in my wildest dreams that I'd be on the other side of the world and witnessing to people and doing something useful with my life for God. Right. And what was real amazing was that the people that I went with, it felt so good to see people that have that same ambition and the will to do it for God. It's like a team, and that showed me that you can do anything if you put your mind to it, and if you have that will to do something for Christ. It was amazing. I don't even have the words. I mean, for me to be up here, that's amazing too, because I'm a very shy person, and so for me to say, I have to say something, because it's almost a sin not to say how good this trip was. And it just opened my heart, and it showed me things that, they're memorable. That's just priceless. Nothing can buy that.
Amen.
What's up? My name is Jeremiah, and this is my first time on that side of the ocean. This trip was really awesome. The thing that God showed me is it does like what Chris was saying. The gospel really does work. We prayed with almost 300 people in a matter of 5 days. And in my life, I've only prayed with maybe 3-4 people. In this trip, I prayed with almost 20 people to give their lives to Christ. So that's really awesome. And the people there are just they're hungry for Jesus, and they're hungry for friendships. One of the guys in the township, he had been saved. He said maybe like 2 months, and he was witnessing to this guy. And the guy pointed at me, the sinner. He was like, "You your friend?" And he looked at me. He's like, "Are you my friend?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're friends." He's like, "You're my first American friend." And I was like, "What? Oh, cool." So, the trip it was really humbling, and, I'm alive, so that's cool,
Amen.
My name is Abby. So the most important thing that stood out to me while we were in Africa is that after outreaching, staying out in the sun all morning, 5 days, and watching people come to church consistently, visitors every night, was that when you step out in faith, God will be with you, and He will honor that you are willing to go out and share His word with people. So that was the most amazing thing.
Amen.
I'm Jasmine, and
this was my first like trip to like mission trip, and it was really amazing. And honestly, like at first I was like really scared to like talk to people. I wasn't sure like what they were gonna say or anything. But then I was like, I realized that like I wasn't there to just like stand around, hang out. And so we were outreaching, and I like started going up to people and passing out flyers, and like they were really open, which was good because I was kind of scared that they were just gonna be like there was a few people that were like that would just like walk past you like and not say anything, but it was good to talk to a lot of people about God, and like the fact that they were really open was really good. And like it just taught me to not be scared to tell people about God. And it makes me like I want to do more and like outreach more and stuff.
Amen.
Hi, my name is Azalea Galunda, and this was my first time out of the U.S., so it was pretty cool. I liked it. It was fun. One thing that God showed me was it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still witness to people. Like even the older people in Africa came to me or were coming up to me and was like, hey, what is this flyer? And I was like, oh. So I was witnessing to them, so it kind of broke down that wall. So I started witnessing to people more, and it built up that confidence. So hopefully, well, I'm gonna use it. Whenever we go to West Austin to talk to the teenagers and be able to pray with big groups of teenagers, because that's what it was like in Africa. So we'll be praying for God to give me the more confidence. So go on a mission trip. It's awesome.
Hello, my name is Ezriana. This was also my first mission trip. It was really amazing getting to go to Africa, witnessing to people over there. They were really open. Our first night there, it was a Friday night. We were having an outside concert, and I was standing on the corner of the street waiting for people to pass by and give out flyers. And this guy from behind asked me to tell him about Jesus. And so I started talking to him. Jeremiah was there too. And it just showed me how hungry they were for God, and how much they longed for God, and how much they really needed Him. So that opened the door for me to witness. And the next day, Saturday, we had through the whole outreach, we had prayed with over 100 people, just that outreach. And I got to pray with a lot of girls, a lot of students, so that was awesome. And I also got really close with a lot of girls there in the church, got to talk to them, and just seeing their love for God, how much they really loved God, was awesome. And I can't wait to go on another trip like that again. It really changed my heart and opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Sanchez. I'm 17 years old, and there's a lot of things that God did over there, but I don't have a lot of time to say every single thing. So one of the things that I really pressed in for going over there was I was asking God to give me boldness, because in my walk I was just struggling with witnessing to people. I was intimidated. I was scared to tell people. I was afraid of how they would look at me. And right away getting there, the Friday we got there, right away went to an outdoor outreach kind of thing, and there were seeing people from Pastor Andy Anderson's church, just men and women, like youth, going up to people and just being bold. You would have women going up to other women and asking them straight up, "Are you a prostitute?" And then they would answer them yes or no, and they start witnessing them, giving them scripture. And they were so bold with their words. And you'd have young women dealing with old grown men, and men sobbing and crying. And I just saw that boldness, and I wanted it so bad. And just seeing that, it was just amazing, because it's just something that I wanted so bad. So when I saw that, I was like, I need that, I want that. And that next day, Saturday, we had outreach, and I was feeling kind of tired and weak from the flight or whatever. I was kind of like all out of it and real discouraged, just handing people flyers. I felt like I wasn't doing much. And I was there, and one of the sisters, Candace, she was. We were there, and we were one of the sisters from the other church over there in Africa. They were witnessing to these girls, and this guy comes up, and she starts witnessing all three of them, the girl, two girls, and that guy. So Candace tells me, "Hey, go witness to that guy. Help that sister out." So I go over there, I start witnessing to this guy, and I'm just kind of like, whatever. And this other guy walks up, and I start witnessing to both of them, and it doesn't feel like much, but I'm sitting there talking to both of them. And later on, the concert that night comes, I hear somebody call my name, and they're like, "Hey, Dominic, look over there." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They say, "You brought those guys to church." And you have these two guys that are there, they brought their whole family and that whole row. And it was tremendous to see them. Those guys that are matching the altar call, their family, and I got to pray with the guys. And just God showed me boldness. That's exactly what I was asking for. If you have a chance to go to anything like that, just know that God's gonna move. So keep praying and pressing in for that.
Man. Woo! Woo!
Praise God. Let's just praise Jesus Christ tonight from Test 1, 2, mic test. Praise God. God is good in this place tonight, and so really do appreciate all those testimonies. And it's what God did in Africa. It's a miracle of God, beloved. And amen. And I'm not going to preach very long, because Frank.